Hey guys, this is part two of last night's video, and I didn't end up getting to the point. I got most of it out, but the main thing I wanted to say, man, about that the southern border, folks, is I've been telling people since I got down into Arizona and started going back and forth across that border. I started telling people at least 20 years ago that border is not controlled by America or Mexico, either one. It's controlled by the cartel. Now, some of these people have changed since I used to run back and forth across that border that are in control today. But the people that control that border, they are they've got money that like I said, what was his name? Horseface. John Kerry went down there and sold those cartel military grade weapons, folks. None of this crap we have that we're allowed to have. Well, some people have some of it, but the majority of us that have guns in America are not the weapons that your government went down there and sold all them guys. The reason why they did that is because they are heavily invested into those cartels. Believe it or not, I don't care. But the cartels are the ones that control that southern border. I told the three percenters back when Obama was in office. I ended up was able to get in contact with one of the top guys of the three percenters before they ever went down there, claiming they were going to go down to that southern border and protect it. And I told him, and I told many of them three percenters, if you take your guns and you go down to that border, you better not have no bullets in those guns. Because if you shoot somebody, you're going to prison. Period. And if you take that gun on the other side of that border, and then cartel or the Mexican police get a hold of you, you're going to their prison. And you, as a militia, is not. Militias are covered under the U.S. Constitution, folks, but they are well regulated militias that are covered and given the same authority as the National Guard or something, folks. It's your Minutemen. Those militias are still in place. They just never get used. But these other militias are gun clubs at best, folks. They're not well regulated militias like the Constitution says has authority. The reason being is because they don't build their ranks from the grunt or private all the way up to the generals and shit, and the three percenters, the freedom keepers, the oath takers, the oath keepers, all those militias. They don't build their ranks in the same way as the military. They don't. Their training is not the same, and the weapons that they use are not the same. A well-regulated militia is regulated by your governor of that state, basically. And those people can go, if if the governor has to call them up, they can fit right in with the National Guard in order to protect the state. They have to have the same kind of ranking systems. They have to have the same kind of training and shit, the same kind of weaponry. They don't have time to take and train these militia guys. When the militias that are talked about in the Constitution, they would fall back. Your National Guards were you had your federal military that was supposed to protect the entire country with everything they had, and then each state. That's what the National Guards are. Each state has a right to protect their state. And if the National Guard wasn't big enough, they could call up the Minutemen. Well, that's these three percenters and all this shit. These gun clubs are not well regulated militias that the Constitution says you can have. That's what I'm trying to get in your head. These guys went down there after I warned them. I warned them. And a matter of fact, the guy that I warned, I think he's still in prison. But a lot of them went to prison. A lot of them left with their tails between their legs as well. And you don't even hear people talking about the 3%ers anymore. Not since Obama got done with them. And if they're doing anything, they're just keeping it on the down low. But that's what my last video I was getting to. Is I've known this for many, almost probably at least 3 decades about that border. That's why I always laugh. Even we have been taxed so many times that to build a wall across that southern border, it's not even funny, folks. We should have a concrete wall 40 foot high at least, with oil running down both sides of it to keep people from being able to climb it in any way, shape, or form, because we have already paid for it more than once. Ronald Reagan taxed us for a wall to be built across that southern border. That southern border is around 2,500 miles, folks, long. 2,500 miles. And there ain't shit covered with a fence. If you compare what is actually where the fencing is, there ain't none of it covered. A very small portion. Some of it's blocked by a river that you can walk across today. They're doing it. I think it's the Rio Grande. All this crap they're telling you is not going to stop, folks. The people in charge in Washington, D.C. do not want it to stop. Do you not understand that? Their main saying is order out of chaos. They're going to cause so much chaos that enough people die that whoever's left, they can bring into their order. That's their plan. That's what my video last night was all about. You guys are seeing more of this coming true every day. I've been telling people about this for 20 years, this shit was coming. We didn't know, there was many of us. A lot of people are gone today. They're not talking about it no more. Why? Because it's here. It's no longer coming, folks. It's here. It's all around you. It's happening. And nobody's going to stop it. Not even Trump. Don't believe me? Watch and see. Good luck with that. Other than that, folks, always remember God loves you. I love you. And if you seek Jesus' path, seek Jesus, he will show you the path you need to stay on to find that narrow, straight gate. If you're not on that path, then I guess you're going to go back to all these demigods and worshiping Mother Earth and Aquaman and Iron Man and Jupiter and all these demigods that they had. Well, that's up to you. Everybody was given free will. But once you was told about Jesus and the Holy Bible and everything, now you're denying it. Just remember that. Love you guys. Till the next one.